Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the news cycle on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyi Agbofwegbe. The Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria have asked the federal government to address the recent electricity tariff hike. President of the NLC, Joe Ajaero, said what the organized labor has done is to relax the strike action for 1 week. In a communique issued after a joint National Executive Council meeting of the unions, they said the demand for the reversal of electricity tariff hike back to 66 naira per kilowatt hour was part of the discussions, noting that they deliberated on the demand for the stoppage of the classification of electricity consumers into bands. Elsewhere, Kaduna State House of Assembly has recommended that the immediate past governor of the state, Nasir El-Rufai, be prosecuted for alleged abuse of office and money laundering in his administration. This followed the investigation of the ad hoc committee set up by the House, led by Henry Zakaria. According to the report submitted by Zakaria, most of the loans obtained under El-Rufai's administration were not used for their intended purpose, and in some cases, due process was said not to have been followed in securing the facilities. The House of Representatives has expressed its support for the legal action taken by the federal government against the 36 state governors of the Federation to enforce the autonomy of the local governments. This is as the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees declared its readiness to aggressively mobilize local government branches to troop out en masse to loudly support the federal government in the push for local government autonomy. The federal government had approached the Supreme Court with a suit seeking to compel governors of the 36 states of the Federation to grant full autonomy to the local governments in their domains. Minister of Defense Mohammed Abubakar has assured officers and men of the armed forces of President Bola Tinubu administration's commitment to equipping and training them to enhance combat readiness against insurgency and terrorism. In a statement from the Federal Ministry of Information and International Orientation, the minister stated this when he visited the military operation theater in Katsina. Addressing Operation Hadarin Daji at the 213 Forward Operating Base in Katsina, the minister acknowledged President Tinubu's significant successes in the fight against insurgency and related crimes. The Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Southwest, Biodun Alabi, has urged police officers in the discharge of their duties to always accord members of the public dignity and respect human rights. Alabi made this known while addressing officers at the Ogun State Command of the Nigeria Police Force in Elewaron, Abeokuta, Ogun State during his one-day working visit to the state. The police boss warned that the authorities would deal decisively with any officer found trampling on the rights of the people. Meanwhile, the Police Service Commission, PSC, has announced the approval and release of a list of 10,000 successful applicants for recruitment into the constable and specialist cadres of the Nigeria Police Force. The Commission noted that to ensure fairness and justice in the recruitment process, it worked with relevant stakeholders, including the Nigeria Police Force, the National Assembly, and the Federal Character Commission. He stated that it ensured equity in the spread of successful candidates across the 774 local government areas of the country. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has expressed displeasure over the high rates of electoral litigation in the country. The former president stated this during the inauguration of Delta State High Court complex in Asaba, the state capital, where he called for an improvement in the judicial and electoral standards to address the increasing number of lawsuits by politicians who intend to manipulate the process after losing elections in the country. The Independent National Electoral Commission has extended the continuous voter registration exercise in Edo and Ondo states to June 9. The Commission had earlier set June 5, 2024 as the closing date for the registration exercise, which started on May 27, 2024. During the period, INEC stated that the registration exercise recorded significant progress with 120,458 new voters registered. Earlier, the exercise had suffered some hitches in Edo State, due to which ravaged the state headquarters of the commission, leaving equipment and materials needed for the registration damaged. Civil society groups for Good Governance Coalition has called on President Bola Tinubu to sign the National Commission for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons Bill into law to enhance national security. The coalition's president, Ogaku Dominic, made the call in Abuja amidst growing concerns about national security and the proliferation of illegal firearms. He highlighted the devastating consequences of uncontrolled weapons proliferation, which fuels violence, insecurity, and economic instability. You're watching News Cycle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. When News Cycle returns, President Tinubu hails Sheinbaum, Mexico's first female president. We have details of the story and much more for you right after this break. We urge you to stay with us.
Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news, current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here.
This is Global Television, bringing you a live broadcast of News Cycle with Uyi Agbonfoegbe. We appreciate you for staying with us. Now let's take you to the foreign scene, where President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Claudia Sheinbaum on a historic election victory as the first female president of Mexico. A statement by presidential spokesman Ajiro Ngelale says President Tinubu stated that the election of President-elect Sheinbaum affirms the voices of women in government that send a reverberating message across the world that women must not only be participants but principal architects in shaping and implementing decisions affecting the lives of many. India Prime Minister Narendra Modi has tendered his resignation to the country's President Draupadi Murmu after his cabinet recommended the dissolution of the lower house of parliament, Lok Sabha. Murmu accepted the resignation of Modi and the Council of Ministers, requesting Modi to act as the Prime Minister till the new government is formed. Modi's resignation was a part of the protocol followed before the formation of the next government in India. Away from Asia now, Portugal's new government has tightened its migration policy, repealing a key law under the former socialist administration that had promoted people moving to the country for work. With one of Europe's most open immigration system, Portugal has seen its foreign-born population double in 5 years, partially due to South Asians who have come to work in farming, fishing, and restaurants. However, Prime Minister Luis Montenegro said his government wants to put an end to excessive abuse of its welcome for immigrants, calling the changes a new cycle. A quick look at business now. Following the recent withdrawal of Heritage Bank's operating license, the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, says it will begin payment of an insured sum to 2.3 million depositors of the bank in liquidation this week. Managing Director of the corporation, Bello Hassan, made this known while briefing newsmen in Abuja. Kekalomo Okere has details.
The Managing Director, Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, Bello Hassan, says the bank had preliminary deposits of 650 billion naira and loan worth 700 billion naira. According to him, 99.9% of depositors of the defunct bank have a deposit balance of less than 5 million naira, while only 4,000 of the depositors have more than 5 million naira deposit. He says those who have balance of 5 million naira or less will receive their full insured deposit promptly. This move is set to gain the confidence of the customers in the financial sector.
So for the depositors that have alternate bank account within the system, They don't need to visit any branch of the bank. We are aware of their details and we pay them the maximum insured amount, depending on their we pay them the insured amount up to a maximum limit of 5 million. But for customers that have only account with Heritage Bank, then they need to visit the nearest branch so that they can be identified and verified by our staff that are on ground.
Hassan further clarifies that these depositors will receive further payments as NDIC progresses with recovering the bank's assets and outstanding loans. It says to manage the payment process, NDIC has deployed 400 staff members across the bank, 116 branches and regional offices.
116 branches and regional offices, and we have deployed close to 400 staff of NDIC to all these locations so that they can take charge of the assets and records of the bank. We have made press release on Monday, and yesterday also we did advertorial in major newspapers to brief the banking public of what we are doing concerning the liquidation of the bank.
NDIC boss further advised the depositors with alternate bank accounts not to visit a bank branch, adding that the NDIC will use their bank verification number, BVN, to credit this account directly. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Well, thank you, Kikalomo. Nigeria has lost about 148.8 billion naira in oil revenue as a result of the industrial action embarked upon by the organized labor to protest the 60,000 naira minimum wage proposal of the federal government. Recent data from the Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission shows that Nigeria produces over 1.2 million barrels of crude oil daily. The federal government says Nigeria is set to reduce the importation of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, by about $4.4 billion annually by adopting the use of compressed natural gas, CNG. It announced this through the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, adding that the target of government is to convert 1 million diesel and petrol-powered vehicles to start running on CNG. The coordinator, regulations, compliance, and facilitation of the initiative, Zayan Tambari, disclosed this in a presentation at the co-creation session on Nigeria Gas Vehicle Monitoring System in Abuja. An unidentified number of persons have been trapped inside a collapsed mining pit in Galadima, Kogo, in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. It was gathered that the mining pit collapsed after a torrential rain, trapping several workers digging in search of mineral resources. Ministry of Solid Minerals Development had since mobilized first responders to the scene. The federal government may have to spend about 5.4 trillion naira on fuel subsidies in a proposed economic stabilization plan document. The plan, presented by Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, to President Bola Tinubu, aims to fast-track economic recovery, assist as many Nigerians as possible, and further mitigates the impact of the ongoing economic reforms of the administration. The plan, it says, is to be implemented within 1 to 6 months and will tackle inflation and further increase the purchasing power of the populace. Now let's get you into the exciting world of sports. Lilian Ude has etched her name in cricket's folklore at the ongoing 2024 Kwibuka Women's T20I tournament in Rwanda, producing the third all-time best bowling figures for an innings with a phenomenal bowling of 6 wickets for just 7 runs in 4 overs, which earned Nigeria a 32-run win over host and arch-rivals Rwanda. In a thrilling continuation of their rivalry, Nigeria secured another win over Rwanda for their 3rd win of the tournament, taking them level on 6 points with test nation Zimbabwe ahead of their meeting as the race for the top 2 positions intensifies. And beyond Africa, Fulham have confirmed the departure of Tosin Adarabuyu ahead of a proposed move to rival Chelsea. The 26-year-old is one of 11 players confirmed by the Cottagers that will be departing this summer ahead of next season. Tosin joined Fulham in 2020 from Manchester City following loan spells at West Brom and Blackburn. He featured 132 times for the Premier League outfits. According to football transfer expert Fabio Romano, Tosin has completed his Chelsea medical with an official announcement expected in a few days. He's expected to become the first signing of the new Enzo Maresca era at Chelsea after the club hijacked Newcastle's move for the former Manchester City defender. Quite remarkable, but that's a full cycle on the news, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms using @Global TVNG and other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Aimoyi Agbofuegbe saying thank you for watching. Coming up shortly is Big Talk with Edika Michael.